Shanti, good morning.
Shanti, good morning, brother.
Good to have you back, Lynette Bell.
It's good to be here.
Wonderful. Uh, Before Ranjan joins us to read Mama's class, I thought we'd have a few minutes if you wanted to say anything, ask anything. Hello, Shanti.
Shanti.
So, would anyone like to start off and ask anything? Okay.
Brother, it's Lynette. I'm thinking, with the atmosphere and the things that are happening at this time, and like in myself, I cannot go to the center very often. I know Baba is saying, just remember me, just keep his companionship and all that. Is that enough in this time?
Yeah, so it actually sets up then something I was going to share, because we just returned from the center in the city of Leicester. Jayanti Didi was taking morning class there. So we went and came back, and she was recalling a retreat that I think it was different teachers from different places had gathered in Peace Village in New York State. And I believe she said it was around 2014. And Daddy Genki was leading the retreat. And in today's blessing, Baba is talking about this concept of a detached observer. And she was recalling that Daddy was explaining that there are 4 levels, 4 stages we've got to develop. The first is we have to develop our soul consciousness. We have to renounce the arrogance of the body. And that arrogance of the body, that body consciousness, is always shown in terms of our reaction. So if we're feeling things, if we're taking sorrow, if we're being affected, that's body consciousness. And that means that our old sanskars are still dominating us. So today as well, Baba is repeatedly saying to us, consider yourself to be a soul. Remember the Father. Because it's when we're in that space that the old sanskars get suppressed and contained, and our original qualities can emerge. And then she was saying that Daddy said the second stage was the detached observer. And the way she explained it was that I've got to have a level of inner clarity and detachment in every scene that I am in this drama. And then I have to be able to discern, what do I need to do in this scene of the drama? What's my role? Sometimes our role is to say something, sometimes it's to stay silent, sometimes to do something, sometimes not to do something. And we've got to get that right. And sometimes we're so involved in the scene, we get it wrong, and then we regret it afterwards. But we don't want to be, at this time of the drama, we don't want to be in that cycle of getting things wrong, regretting, because we're going round like that. We need to get things right in the first place. And then the third is what Daddy called the detached witness. And this was regarding the scenes of the world that you're describing, that we are going to witness many things happening. And maybe in the past we would have got very upset, angry. We might have been activists. We might have got ourselves involved. But now we've got Baba's knowledge. And we already know the destiny of the Iron Age. So we've got to witness many things. But we're doing it from that stage of knowledge and detachment. And then the fourth stage is being beyond. And so it's like being the angel that's completely up above. So I think that there's a journey there. What Baba has been saying to us in the last 2 days is you have to accumulate the power of your study and the power of yoga. So it's not a case of really being ready at the time something happens. It's the preparation beforehand. It's a stage that Baba calls being ever ready. And I used to be a Cub Scout when I was a child, and the slogan for the Scouts is be prepared. And so it's really important. Many years back, must be 30 years ago now, I think we were actually in a coach journey. Sudesh Didi was there, like we must have been visiting somewhere or going on a retreat. And I can remember someone asking Sudesh Didi that what does she think is the main weakness in the Brahmin family at that time. And she said that when times are good, they become careless. And I think this is the key, that as times are bad anyway, we can see that. We don't even need to go into details, we can see it. But we know that also times will get worse, and maybe bad times are still far away, but they will get closer. You know, fire spreads, it doesn't take long either for it to spread. So the key, and this is my loving advice to all brothers and sisters, is when times are good, when times are peaceful, that's when you make extra efforts. It's not when times are bad that suddenly you're having your Amrit Velas, you're paying that extra attention. It's actually when times are peaceful that you have to accumulate. And then when the difficult time comes your way, it's the stock that you've accumulated that automatically acts as a buffer for you. And a stock means the additional amount, so more than you need to sustain your stage, which can then be distributed to others. So what Baba does is he uses the additional stock we have and he gives it to others. And he will give it to others through our forehead, through our eyes, through our face, through our presence, behavior, and it can even be from a distance. But if we've not accumulated, then we will struggle, because Brother Bridgemohan always describes yoga like money. And you have to accumulate the money when you can, right? When business is going well, when you've got a job, that's when you put money aside. You need your rainy day money. But when it's raining and the roof has got a hole in it, then you're trying to accumulate, you're going to get wet. Your house will be further damaged. You need to have saved the money when the sun will shine. So this is my loving advice to all brothers and sisters, that the time for your intensive efforts is when your health is still good, when you've got peaceful times in your house, in your community, when even if you have to work, I mean, I work full time as well, but I'm aware that this is the time to accumulate. So I would say that definitely it won't be enough if we're just doing an ordinary level of things and we're sort of just dealing with something as and when it comes. But I would say that there's a great opportunity now to accumulate a lot. I think that Baba's giving multi-million fold if we do things now. So let's take the opportunity and do as much as we can. And Bikaben, did you want to add into that?
Not really to that, but I was thinking about Mama, and Mama made all that effort right through. She said Haju to Baba, whatever it is Baba asked. And I was wondering, or thinking that Mama in her previous births, maybe in the 3-4 births before, I was feeling that probably her intellect may not have been as degraded as some of us, in the sense that she must have had that intellect being pretty clean, for what is as compared to what Iron Age's souls are like, which include the Brahmins and where the intellect has been. So I was just thinking of her previous births that in an instant, and there were others as well, instantly recognize who they were, and whatever Baba said to them. So they following Baba's Srimad to the T. Them, because they made effort seem so effortless, it was just a matter of saying Haji, just following. But for us, we have this internal, like me, we have this internal struggle at times. When you within your locates, when within your job, and you know what is right. Not that we don't know what is right and what is necessary. But the pull of karmas, where the intellect really has not been so clean in this birth. So yes, we look at the time, and as you rightly say, appreciate that. It's really when health is good that we really need to accumulate and not wait on the rainy day then start. And recently, I've been saying, and mainly because you have also indicated that in the past, what have we accumulated when the time is needed to use that power of accumulation? But I never really put it in the context that you did, where God is going to be using that accumulation that we have. Because I know in the end, what is our part as a Brahmin? I often ask myself, and sometimes when we have discussion, what does it mean to be a Brahmin? Why do I have this part and not someone else? Means there's a role and there's a responsibility. It's not all about the glitter of the golden age and that reward. But at this time, what is really needed of a Brahmin soul? Baba often indicates about the suffering while we hearing the cries, and that has always touched me. Are you hearing the cries of the souls of the world? And now it is so much more, so much more. So I ask myself, as a Brahmin, am I doing what I'm responsible for, what Baba has entrusted to me? We say Baba sometime, and we know it is a drama, each person's part, but it always is a self-check-in. Where I am at this time, where am I at this time? And honesty of the self is so important, and questioning the self for me has always been something that puts me back on track. And I know I'm not where I need to be. So the effort is so important.
Yes, I can recall one Murali where Baba said that the 8 jewels have this bonus from having kept a level of purity. So it's like he's saying they reached a high level of purity in the previous confluence age, which then helped them maintain a level or maybe a reduced level of degradation. So as you described, when Baba comes back round again, they're in a better position to catch things more quickly. So I think there is a bonus. You think of Daddy Gulzar and souls like that. But then on the counter side, so yes, I think there is. I think there is a difference. Mama and Baba are parent souls anyway. And then you've got the 8 jewels, and I think there is a difference. See, my understanding is that to become part of the 8 jewels, your purity has not been broken in your dreams since you became a BK. That's the criteria. For most of us, it's about the 108, and to become part of the 108, it's you've gone through a struggle, you fought the battle, but then you became victorious. So I think there is a difference. Yeah, but on the other side, okay, purity is one thing, but more generally, there are different Brahmins who are navigating their karmic situations in different ways. And Dedi Janki used to talk about this quite a lot in her classes, because she would explain that you had that group, Mama, Daddy Prakashmani, Daddy Chandramani, Daddy Shantamani, there were a number like that. Mama, they were young girls who had their purity from the beginning. And she came a little bit later into the yagya as a mother. And so she had wanted to be treated in that way, but they were always regarded as special souls, whereas she was not really regarded as a special soul. So she would give these talks on how some Brahmins, you see their journey, it's like maybe what you're describing, maybe it's some good karma from a previous life, or maybe they just cleared their accounts through something in a previous life. So in this life, when we see them as a BK, didn't have any struggle. Everything is easy. And then you see some Brahmins, it's a struggle. They're navigating their karmic situation, and everyone is so different. And Daddy would say she is in that category. So she was married, she'd had a child, she was one of those who was beaten up. Then she's come, and it was like a struggle. So she said that she became a special soul through effort. With people like Daddy Prakashmani, they just arrived as special souls. Mama was just a special soul. So this is what she would teach. So the 8 jewels does have a combination of souls who were just special, and then souls like Daddy Janki. And she tells the story that she had never thought for a decade, and no one in the Brahmin family thought she would be one of the 8 jewels. They had thought that you have to have that you have to be more like Mama, and maybe have that purity from the beginning, and all of those, it's quite privileged really, and protected lifestyle. And it was when I think she was starting the center in Pune, so around about 1963, she got a letter from Bapdada where he addressed it to my daughter, the jewel of the Brahmin clan, who's going to become one of the 8 jewels. And it was only in that letter that she was surprised. She said at that point, her aim was for the 108. She was not even trying. to think that she could become one of the 8 jewels. And, there was nothing really indicating, I don't think, that she would, until Baba said that. And because Baba said that, she then began to believe in that. Now you look with hindsight, and it seems very obvious, but it really was not obvious at that time. And I would say even in the 80s and 90s, there was a lot of debate around that. So so on one side, yes, I do agree. There is something there around some bonus of purity in particular. But what I also want to give the message to all brothers and sisters, I know that many will listen later on, is don't don't limit your potential on the basis of comparing your karmic situation to someone else's. Daddy Janki is your example. That it was a struggle, but she got there. And so through effort, and she was a hard worker, but she was very focused on her soul consciousness, on the things that Baba's talking about in today's Mali, the consider yourself to be a soul, stay in Baba's remembrance as much as you can. So that effort that she made in her yoga, as Baba's saying today, the more yoga you have, the greater the fruit you will get from that. So I wouldn't want any Brahmin to judge their potential and their capability based on analyzing the karmic situation. I don't think that's how it works. So believe in yourself, because one of the tricks of Maya is limitation. We put a limitation. I can only do this much. I can only become this much. And that's what Maya wants. But actually, why should anything stop me? When I look at Shiv Baba, I often get the feeling that he gets the greatest joy in transforming the difficult cases. So he's proud of the Brahmins who are special souls from the beginning, but I think he gets more joy from supporting the Brahmins who struggled their way through. Because actually that's more his greatness, isn't it? Because they need him more. And so I just look at Baba and I think he's going to really showcase the souls who have struggled their way but got there. And with Baba, he's ready to take 1,000 steps if you've got that one step of courage. He's waiting. So this is all about courage and belief. You need the inner drive as well. Daddy Janki was always very driven. Daddy used to say that there are many BKs, but I should be such a BK that others feel that this BK is something unique. Something special. We should all keep an aim that we'll do something special. Could be specialness in knowledge, could be in yoga, could be in virtues, could be in service, like something that really makes me stand out. So she would say we should have that type of aim. We shouldn't just be satisfied with being average. So if you have that within you, you've got Baba's help, you've got then a great resource in the Murlis, the opportunities for sustenance through the Brahmin families. So there really isn't anything that can stop you. what the Brahmin family, I think, needs is examples. We have many examples of service because Brahmins do a lot of very good service with their heart. So we got lots of examples of service. We've got examples of good yogis, but they tend to be Brahmins who are living in centers or in Madhaba. And I think the need of the Brahmin family is someone who's working full time, but their yoga is of a level as if they were in Madhaba. Someone is a mother, but their yoga is of like they're a daddy, of that level. I feel this is now the need, because if you look, the Brahmin family is very varied, and probably most of the Brahmins, they work, they live with their family. I don't think there are that many who live in a center, probably 20, 30,000. So most Brahmins are navigating their work, their families, their health, and so on. So what we need is to be able to look at a Brahmin and say, they had all of these karmic bondages. Look how they cut through them. They had all of these disadvantages, but look how they used it as like a springboard for moving forward. They had all of these responsibilities, but somehow this Brahmin is double life. I think these are the things which really need, because if Brahmins see it through their eyes, then their belief can grow within them that they can do it, I can do it. If we just have examples of people living in Madhuban or living in a retreat center, there's a percentage of doubt that remains that, oh, I wish I could live there, then I could make this effort. But we don't want that. We want a yogi soul who shows the way. They become a lighthouse for others because they show that actually nothing can stop you. If you want to become, nothing will stop you, because this is about spiritual endeavor. And through your own spiritual endeavor and Baba's help, what can you not achieve? So I feel you are right, but, and I can remember as well, it was around that time in these Morley's, there was a question and answer session with Devi Janki at the London Centre. And one of the sisters asked that, well, so Daddy, we can't come in the 8 because we've not had this unbroken purity and this. Because Daddy always gave the message to everyone that you can come in the 8, keep believing. She was always motivating everyone. And Daddy smiled and she went into a moment of silence. And she said, but you mustn't underestimate how compassionate God is. You mustn't underestimate the merciful heartedness of God. And what I took from that was, even if you have a Brahmin who maybe, say they struggled with their purity for a while, but then they sorted it out. And then they had a long period of endeavor. And their efforts were to such a level in yoga, in soul consciousness, in virtues. I think not only would Baba forgive, but he might even give such bonus marks that Daddy felt that the soul might even be able to get into the 8 jewels. So we've got criteria, but then we also have Baba's discretion based upon his compassion as well. So never ever stop believing, and the focus is really just on our endeavor. And today's Morley is all about that. How many times did I consider yourself to be a soul. Focus on your remembrance of Baba. If you haven't heard the Murli yet, have a listen. Just again and again. So one message is just emphasizing again and again and again. And it's because the Raj Yoga is not complicated. It really is just doing one or two things, but doing it consistently over a period of time. So speaking on that, I mean, let's listen to Mama's class because she's the example, isn't she? Just taking one or two things, working with them. And Mama and Baba had that speciality that they listened to Shiv Baba's Murli in the morning. And they just had the attitude that they must do it today. Must be put into practice today. So Mama and Baba have that sort of intellect, that sort of determination, and we can take inspiration. So I'll hand over to Ranjan now. Lynette Ben is here today.
Yeah, it's nice to see her.
Shanti, sister.
See everybody. I'm always happy to see everyone. But Lynette Ben has been, fulfilling her duty in the Lokik, keeping a balance with Baba. So it's nice to see among us.
And nice to see Rupali Ben. We got Chicago. We have fond memories of New York and Chicago. So great to see.
Yeah, and Rupa Ben is here. Rupali Ben.
Mm.
When you write Rupa, I don't recognize it, but then I realize it's Rupali Ben from Chicago.
Lee Katadi.
Because there are few Rupa Bens, so for me, you are Rupali Ben in my mind. But everybody, Om Shanti, good morning.
Good
do you
to
remember-
see. Good to see you on screen, Sadhana Ben, as well.
Yeah.
And what's also nice is that it's summertime in the Northern Hemisphere, so everyone early in the morning has light. They're not having to sit in the dark with light. They got their windows nice and open.
Yeah.
And that's also nice. So over to you. We've been, if you've been following the recordings or you've joined us, we're running through Mama's classes from 1958. We're in December 1958. I believe we heard something like the 20th lesson. What date is it, this one?
I am the 22nd.
Yeah, this one.
This one, 22nd. So Baba has been, Mama has been explaining about devotion, how darkness, and now we are in the light. So, and Mama said, our world of happiness is now being created. The soul can only be completely content through God. We are now continuing to have this experience. And so now today we are going to read 22nd December 1958. And Mama has taken the topic of liberation means to be liberated from the bondages of sorrow, and liberation in life means to take births of happiness. Om Shanti. Our Satguru now is incorporeal Supreme Soul, who is Parlokik. So P-A-R, Lokik, L-O-K-I-K, means beyond this physical world. Our Father, the Supreme Father, Shiv Baba, although he is our Satguru now in the incorporeal, is the incorporeal Supreme Soul, who is Parlokik, the Almighty Authority and the All-Powerful One. You have a relationship with a Guru so that he can grant you liberation and liberation in life. So we have chosen liberation in life. We are making effort. Now when we want to go first with Baba, those who do not wish to come, then they will have liberation. They will stay in the in Paramdam, in Supreme Abode a long time until their part comes again. And so they choose liberation, mukti. We want Jivan Mukti. While being in this life, we are making effort to become liberated so we can come from the beginning of the cycle. So Baba is explaining, you have a relationship, and it is the relationship with a guru so that he can grant you liberation and liberation in life. You do not receive that through any Lokik gurus outside. Physical gurus cannot give us that liberation in life because they all come into the cycle of birth and death. So remember, Baba, Mama was saying this last Wednesday that Supreme Soul's part is unique. He's the only one who is beyond birth and death. And so his part is unique and he can liberate us. All the souls are liberated. Only the one who is beyond rebirth can grant liberation and liberation in life. That is the Sat Guru, true Guru. All the rest of the gurus belong to this world. They take rebirth and we too take rebirth. There is rebirth in Satyug also. Satyug also we have rebirth, Mama says. However, they are not births of, what is the difference now and then? There no sorrow. There is no sorrow on the births. However, they are not births of sorrow due to karmic bondages. That's why we have liberation in life now, and we don't have those karmic bondages. Their karma becomes a karma. A karma means neutral actions. We are once again receiving our reward through the effort of the present time, of this confluence age, the short, Mama remember said, leap you age, leap you, very short. That is confluence age. It isn't that we will make effort in those 21 births and create our reward. That's why Baba is also encouraging us, making so much effort with us. Baba is helping us. So it's the efforts of now. Then there won't be, we won't have to make any effort for 21 births. So today also Gentleman was saying, make the most of it now, no matter what the body or whatever it's like, but you make the effort, full efforts. We are once again receiving our reward through the effort of the present time. It isn't that we will make effort in those 21 births and create our reward. No, we have to do everything now. We now understand that liberation in life is for 21 births. And we only receive it through the Sat Guru, true Guru. We prove the existence of liberation through liberation in life. When there is liberation in life, there can be liberation. So when there is liberation in life, there can be liberation. So does it make sense? So we are independent, we'll become independent of everything. There will be liberation from all this sorrow, all this heaviness, everything. This task can only be performed by the Satguru. The liberation in life we receive for 21 births is the attainment of this time. So Mama is emphasizing that this is only the short leap you, the confluence age is the only one. You make your efforts, all the efforts for 21 births. Reward.
And so as devotees, we tend to have two concepts of an afterlife. Some faiths, they talk about nirvana, which is known as liberation. In India, they talk a lot about moksha, which is like eternal liberation from rebirth down here. And Baba says, well, there's no such thing as that, but liberation is about going home to the soul world. And then the other type of afterlife tends to be going to heaven. And that is known as Jivan Mukti, which is liberation in life. In India, this word Jivan Mukti is used, but a lot of these words, we just say them, like when we're devotees. We don't actually think about them or know what they mean. We're just saying these words. But here you can hear, like in detail, what does it mean? Jivan Mukti, to be in your life, but having no karmic bondages. And that was what Baba mentioned yesterday around Lakshmi and Narayan, having a life with no karmic bondages. And Mama is explaining that, in fact, in the golden and silver age, there is no law of karma, because you're making your efforts now and you're getting the reward of what you do now. It's not that you will perform some karma and it can reduce or it can increase. There's no law of karma in the golden and the silver ages. The Baba will give you for the full half cycle as a reward for what you do now. So we got to make the most of it. And one thing Mama is explaining also was in today's Maulidi. What Baba said today in the Maulidi was that if you go to any guru, any priest, any mentor, any saint, they are themselves worshippers. They are devotees themselves. I was watching the Pope's inauguration, and of course the Pope is a very important person within the Catholic Christian faith. But he is worshipping. He's not claiming not to be a devotee. So what Baba is saying in today's Maulidi, they will make you into a worshipper. They're not going to teach you anything else. But because Shiv Baba is worship worthy, he can make you worship worthy. And so this is why you now have a guru who actually is the embodiment of what you want to become. So Mama is saying that we've gone for hundreds of years to many human gurus and priests and monks and nuns and saints. We've read so many scriptures, but none of them were themselves liberated. They were in the same world as us, right? They're in the Iron Age as well. So they have their own karmic bondages down here. They are not liberated from rebirth. They are taking birth down here. And you're going to someone who is not liberated and asking them for a blessing to be liberated. So Mama is saying there's no logic here. It was only ever Shiv Baba who could grant you liberation. Because Shiv Baba doesn't take rebirth. He doesn't have a body of his own. He is not tied within this cycle of rebirth. And this is what makes him the liberator. Back to you.
Yeah, and Mama is also saying that. So Mama is saying that, our attainments now, this time, so our relationship is with that birth, because only Shiv Baba gives us all. And then this all bodily relations, including that with the body. So when we say relations, we automatically think about our other relations. But Mama is pointing out that even with this body, our relationships, including that with the body, are now broken. Liberation means to be liberated from the bondages of sorrow. Liberation in life means to take births of happiness. So that's quite, something to think. It's very simple when you think and mull about on it, and then you will see, even I found now, that it's simple to understand what Mama is saying, liberation. This is his task alone, only Shiv Baba. can do this task. So if you haven't yet broken away from the relationships of the body, it means there is definitely a connection of sorrowful karmic accounts. So makes sense. If you, break your body consciousness, because our relationship is because of the body, with bodily beings, we say. So once you break these karmic accounts, automatically with relationships also it'll be easier.
It's such an important point because Brahmins do ask, that I've got this affecting me. These could be people, could be health, could be finances. But what Mama is explaining is being affected because you haven't practiced your soul consciousness sufficiently. You haven't broken your attachment to your own body. If you are bodiless while you're inside of your body, then the karmic accounts of sorrow can't come inside of your mind.
That's why Bama used the word sorrowful karmic accounts because of, and this is what even Jentiben shared, that this is the key. Now, there will be a lot of bodily problems, but if you break that away, then, you'll have happiness and reward. You have to suffer for those karmic accounts. If you wish to claim the full inheritance from the Supreme Father, you must have a total connection. Very few people understand this. The importance of life is in the very existence of the being. You know about the relationships of life through your thoughts, words, and actions. So you have to transfer everything to him through your thoughts, words, and actions.
When we give the course, we explain that the word yoga means to join. It comes from a Sanskrit word, yojana, which is to connect and to join. So Mama's stage was such that she's describing she had broken all of the connections with the body and the bodily relations. Internally, she was bodiless. But she's saying that it's not like you're then not connected anywhere. But she's explaining we break down here to connect up above. And if we've got like a partial connection, so we're still attached to some people or things here, or even attached to our own body, then we've got a partial connection with Shiv Baba, because there would be a percentage where we're not fully connected. And what she's explaining, that you'll get some of your inheritance, but you won't get the full inheritance. You have to be fully connected with Shiv Baba in all relationships, all parts of your being, just relying on one to gain the full inheritance that Baba offers.
Yeah, this is what Mama is also saying. You must not just remember him through the yoga of the intellect, but you have to belong to him through your thoughts, words, and actions. There is a connection through words and also through the intellect. Since Karan Karavanhar means the one who gets things done directly through us, making us an instrument, and Shiv Baba gets things done through us, and then Shiv Baba's title is Karan, Karan, Kar, Van, Karavan, Har, Har, the one who gets things done through the instrument, is present here, means at this confluence stage, Baba is ever present. Our actions should be such that they are connected with him. So Baba says, remember balance of yoga means remembrance, and action balance. Otherwise, it's not really a karma yoga. We had it a couple of days ago, Mama explained. So our since Karan Karavanhar is present here, our actions should be such that they are connected with him. Our speech should also be similar to God's speech, means speak of specialities or God's knowledge, beneficial things, whatever Baba teaches us. Of giving happiness, no negativity, no sorrow, no putting anybody down. Baba is always sweet, always reminding us of our titles, our deeds, everything. So our speech should also be similar to God's speech, and our thoughts should also be of Him. That is, we have to remember Him alone.
So it's a nice slogan for us to remember and check ourselves. Our actions should connect with the Supreme Soul. Our words should be like His words. Our thoughts should be of Him. So our actions should connect with Shiv Baba. Our words should be similar to Shiv Baba's words. And our thoughts should be of Shiv Baba.
And so it's like connecting with Baba in different relationships, like a friend, like I say,
And sometimes we can think, well, we didn't meet Mama, what was she like? But when you hear these types of lines, or this type of class even, you get an insight into her stage, because she is speaking after becoming the embodiment of these points. So we get through our third eye of knowledge, we can see Mama very clearly. What was she like? And you can see it's a very powerful soul, very disinterested in this world, very focused on Shiv Baba.
And even now, during the day, we all know that we have different relationships with everyone, and we are colored by their company or whatever. So Mama is saying, if you have a relationship with Baba alone, I'll read this now. Mama is continuing. Mama says, you have a complete connection with God. Only then can we once again receive liberation and liberation in life. We have to receive total blessings from God. We have to be liberated from all sorrow. If you experience any punishment, that is also sorrow. To be liberated from karmic bondages means to be liberated from punishment for karmic bondages. Do not think that you have to be liberated through experiencing punishment. Means keep yourself ready now so that you don't get punished. Like copy, literally copy Bapdada, like Mama's in every way. To be liberated from total sorrow and to attain total happiness requires effort which only the Supreme Soul can inspire us to make. He is then responsible for our effort. However, until you have a complete connection with Him, you should understand that you are responsible for your own actions. Mama said few times, complete relationship, connection.
Yes, it's noticeable, this word complete and the word total. Total happiness, total peace, and complete connection. So we're getting an insight as to what she was like.
He is only responsible for our actions when we completely belong to Him. Means when we perform elevated actions like Baba, not giving sorrow, all these murlis we hear on Sundays, Duado, dualo, bestow happiness, bestow everything you have been listening. And like Baba, if we follow his Srimad and accordingly do in a practical dharana, practical way, then, but otherwise we are responsible for our actions and keeping our efforts and keeping attention on ourselves, then we will get punishment accordingly. But if we follow Baba's, we will not have to be punished. We will not face Dharamraj. He is only responsible for our actions when we completely belong to him. To put our hand in his hand means to forge a complete connection. We have to engage ourselves in his task. If you engage yourself in looking after your karmic bondages and not to do God's service, you will definitely lose out. Means if you get too busy in your lokik everything and forget Baba or not act according to Baba's Srimad, then Mama says you will definitely lose out. There will be a loss. And
I've shared this with you before, but I'll repeat it. My loving advice to brothers and sisters is you have to fix your routine. If we don't fix our routine, we will lose balance. It's very, very easy to lose balance. So your Amrit Vela, your Murli, have some evening yoga and maybe read a little bit of knowledge as well, or listen to some knowledge. And then our purity, celibacy, and pure food. If you can fix these things, then the rest of the day, you have to work, you have to look after your family. I feel there's no problem. But if we get so absorbed in work and family and business that our Amrit Vela, even if we get up, we're sleeping. We're maybe attending the Murli, but as we're hearing the Murli, we're actually thinking of our business. And Baba even speaks in the Murlis that some people, they go to Madhuban, they're sitting in front of Baba and they're thinking about their business. He comments on these things in the Murli. Then that's not a balance, for sure. We're missing out. And this is what Mama is saying. You're going to miss out. So keep your routine non-negotiable. And also, if you live with relatives, if you fix a routine, they will get used to it. Initially, it will be very odd for them because maybe you never had a routine before. But then once you get a routine going, they also then adjust, and then they won't disturb you because maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, like that's your time. They won't come at that time. They'll disturb you at another time, but not at that time because it's your routine. Evening time as well. Dedi Janki used to prefer that all of us in the London Centre, we try not to get a job where we have to start before 8 a.m. She used to say that you should try and keep 4 a.m. until 8 a.m. for Baba. So in this way, we can find a way in which we can keep a balance.
And also they would benefit from the atmosphere in the morning, all the vibrations, and they will start to appreciate, seeing change in you. It's a good change, and the atmosphere in the house. And so that would also help. That's why Maryadas
and then if you can, even once a week, try to attend the center. And if you go, most people would go on a Sunday, I think, or Friday, according to their country. And if you can stay an extra hour, 2 hours, and do some service at the center, what that does is give you then, when you do Baba service, you get instant happiness and power. It's one of the beauties of Baba service. So you want to also have that. It's okay if you can't do it every day, but you want to build a routine. So that would be my advice.
And so Mama says, therefore, you have to engage yourself in his service with your body, mind, and wealth. You must belong to him completely and help in his task in every way. And then you will receive your return accordingly, in the same way that someone who serves the government will receive accordingly from the government. Because remember, ours is also, we are Pandav government. So our knowledge is political, so religio-political. Baba establishes religion that is self-sovereignty, but the future kingdom. So our is religio-political. It's not only one, but it's a non-violent, not like. So in the same way that someone who serves the government will receive accordingly from the government, it is not just because you belong to him completely that you will attain everything. You must also help him in every way. The other day, Baba said, we are also social workers. 2-3 days ago in a Sakar Murli. So Baba gave us that title. So that also we have to use as a social worker. Means help him in every way. It is still good for anyone to do whatever they can rather than not doing anything at all. So Mama is saying, keep a balance, because ours is a family. We have to go to work, everything, but keep a balance of everything. And so do means she's saying, do anything, whatever you can, rather than not doing anything at all. At least they will go into the world of the golden age. They will either become the Sun dynasty kings or be one of the subjects who are part of the Sun dynasty. Or they will even become a Moon dynasty king or queen, or become one of the Moon dynasty subjects. There is no need to ask about this. You can know everything through their practical activity. So what do I have to do? Now Mama is asking, ask yourself, what do I have to do? This task involves actually doing things. Those divine activities are actually taking place. Karan Karavanhar is doing and also inspiring. So that is the meaning of Karan. Karan means the one who gets it done. Karavanhar, through an instrument. So is doing and also inspiring. We can also understand with our intellect. Then what do you have to do? Each one will have his own courage. Everything that each one of you should do is explained to you. Remember, Baba says, first step of courage from the child, and Baba will help accordingly. Baba in a second will run and help 1,000 times fold. He is our, Baba said 2 weeks ago in the Avyakt Murli, he is our helper. He cooperates. Sayogi, he is our Sayogi, cooperates with us. But first step of courage, don't forget, that is the key. Everything that each one of you should do is explained to you. We can also understand with our intellect. Then what do you have to do? Each one will have his own courage. Everything that each one of you should do is explained to you. You will move forward to the extent that you have courage, and with courage, power, Shakti, power. Those who want to become something have to make the effort. Means if you want a higher status, then you have to make effort accordingly. Of course, there will be those who make little effort and also those who make a lot of effort, because everyone is number-wise. Although you also know that you will only become what you became a kalpa ago. The result will be out after the effort has been made. You must not just say that you will comply with whatever directions you receive. The speed of your effort reveals what reward you are worthy of. You cannot receive any directions for this. You are being given all the knowledge as to what effort is required to become a king or a queen, and what the effort is to become one of the subjects. But to make yourself worthy depends on you. So sometimes, children become so disheartened when they hear the word number wise. But what Mama basically is saying, Baba gives us the directions, just make efforts accordingly and don't become disheartened, because everything depends on you, how high the status you want, how much efforts you make. This is what Mama is drawing our attention to. So, because I said that and also some get stuck on when they read this word a kalpa ago, that, oh, we became that, and why should we make efforts? Baba often mentions in the Murli also. But the result will be out after the effort has been made. You must not just say that you will comply with whatever directions you receive. The speed of your effort reveals what reward you are worthy of. You cannot receive any directions for this. You are being given all the knowledge as to what effort is required to become a king or a queen, and what the effort is to become one of the subjects. But to make yourself worthy depends on you. We have the complete support of the Satguru. Mama reminded, Baba is ever ready to help us. We have the complete support of the Satguru. He is the bestower, and we are the ones who are taking from him. We can also understand from the speed of our effort, and he also understands through this. Whatever someone does is revealed in the result they achieve. It would then be said, these are the same ones of the previous kalpa pahle wale. These are the same from the previous kalpa. You cannot say only those who belonged to Baba a kalpa ago should be inspired to make effort. So basically everyone has a chance. And I was listening to Surya Bhai's class, and he said Baba has kept one seat, always keeps one seat. Those who come, later on, and they say, oh, how can we get ahead, and how can we come in the rosary of 8 or 100? And he said, no, Baba is very fair. He keeps one seat for a child who makes to make effort. Remember last Sunday's Murli also, Baba was encouraging even the VIPs, everyone, guests, okay? So it's for everyone. Baba doesn't discriminate like that. He gives the same knowledge, everything too, but it depends on us. God does not, so you cannot say only those who belong to Baba kalpa ago should be inspired to make effort. God does not take advantage in this way. So you have to become this through your own effort. Everyone studies the same, but the status they receive depends on how much they study. Whatever you do, you will be rewarded accordingly. Acha, Om Shanti. And, Baba, in the beginning, if you read the Murli, Baba used to say it was 1-to-1, wasn't it? You explain. But then
And that-
Baba said, those who came later, Baba was prepared to give them 100-fold, 1,000-fold. You explain that.
I think it's clear.
Yeah.
Let's finish with a few minutes of Mama's Drishti. We had a rich class. Thanks for joining us. Om Shanti, everyone.
Shanti. Have a beautiful rest of the week.
Yes, great to see you all.
Namaste.
We'll see you hopefully on Wednesday. Otherwise, we'll catch up with you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Shanti, brother.
Have a good day.
How do we access the recording?
I will get that to you later today.
Thank you.
Have a good day.